Hi, friends. I am Sweta Kaushal, and with me today is a gorgeous lady, an inspiring woman, and a wonderful actor, Neha Dhupia. Welcome, Neha. Welcome to Hindustan Times.
Thank you, Shweta. Thank you very much.
So, first of all, tell me about your role in Earth Thursday.
Well, I play the role of ACP Catherine Alvarez, who is a cop and who is somebody who's sort of, a risk-taking cop. And who's for her, I think being in the line of duty is far more important than anything else. I think it always gives a layer. I mean, if you had to talk just about the character and just about the narrative, I mean, of course, I was hired to do the part when I wasn't pregnant, and then there was a long break between. There was a second wave, and everybody went away without knowing what was going to happen. Personally, of course, I did get pregnant, and I came back to Bezat, and I was just like, are you okay taking me in the film now that the way I was hired or what I was hired to do versus physically what I look like now is completely different. So how does it pan out in your head? And he didn't even like think for a moment, and he just instantly said that I'm definitely going to take you on, because it's not like cops don't get pregnant, and it's not like uh, I don't think he definitely thought I was fit for the part, and he worked around it.
And but that's so sweet to make changes in the story because of the changes that you went through.
I think Shweta, saying a word like sweet is an understatement. I mean, let's just go back and actually think of Bezad. He's a second time director. This is the second product he's actually, kind of bringing out into the market. What he has at stake is a lot more than, what anybody else has at stake. Because, as directors, you get one chance and then another chance, and then you have a lot to prove. Now, is it something that, it's not even like he knew me personally from before. So, sometimes when you know someone, you're like, okay, you're willing to bend backwards to make things work. And still, if they don't work, then you kind of, do things differently. But for me, I think when you think of a woman, and then when you think of an actor who's a woman, you think of, okay, yeah, now she's gotten married, and there'll be children, and there'll be a sabbatical, and then there'll be a comeback, and then there's just it's too much. It's too much for us to even like go through. Like, even sometimes I would also wonder that once when I have to like will I ever have to like because paths will coincide, right, between my professional aspirations and my personal dreams, between my professional aspirations and my personal dreams. How am I going to make this work? I'm going to give you a longish answer, because it's beyond sweet, and that's what I want to correct in a lot of people, that even if he wanted to be nice to me, it's not like he was just like, okay, I am going to be nice because I want to be nice. He took that chance on me. And if that one director who's in in a position of power of being a director, but in the industry only 2 films old, has decided to take that chance on me, and if I have decided to take that chance, even personally, in the midst of going out in the second wave, of course I've done it for myself as well in a really big way. But if we can turn around and reinstill faith in people, and that's why I'm screaming from rooftops, because even now a lot of people think I'm pregnant in the film. They don't know that I was actually pregnant. So open up an avenue for women who decide to work through their pregnancies, who decide to work with having children, who decide to actually let the paths coincide and put themselves out there. There's an entire school of thought where women want to stay at home after having babies, and I respect that, because it's exhausting, it's time consuming, it's so like, these new beings come into this world, and they need us. But then there are some of us who want to go out there and work. How are we going to do it? Either we create opportunities, or we get people who are sweet like Bezad, who will give us that chance. And it's a huge chance he took on me, and after seeing the film, I think it paid off. So and to say that I wasn't fired from different projects, I was. Am I upset about it? I'm not. Just for that one moment, you feel that, oh my God, I'm not a part of this project. But yes, maybe as an actor, physically, I was required to look a certain way, and that's why I was asked to step down from that project. But he worked around it. He'd already shot 1 or 2 days. He said, listen, I'm going to let go of it. I'll reshoot any other time as long as you give me time. We were on it. And, kudos to Ronnie and Beza to actually let me be a part of the film in the physical state that I was.
There were scenes when you're slapping someone or something, and then afterwards you have this uneasiness, which is very natural for a pregnant woman. But how many of those times was it real pain?
I think it was a lot of discomfort more than pain, because you do, like, your every pregnant woman out there, or any woman who's been pregnant, would relate to what I'm saying. You start getting, from fake contractions to getting big and uneasy. And I was like, by the end of it, I was almost like touching week 36, because we were last week August or first week September, and Gurik was born in the first week of October, and he was a full-term baby. And I still remember that there was one part where I have to like hold a gun, and there's a gunshot that happens right in the beginning, because you've seen the film. And I was like, I was on call with my gynecologist, and I was just like, is this loud noise going to bother my child, or wake up my child? Now I can say son. And she was like, no, go ahead, do what you have to do. I mean, if you have to work. But she would always be like, are you sure you want to do this? And I'm like, yeah, I want to do it. I really want to do it. Shooting in the rain was very hard. It was very hard. Like, I would be drenched morning to night. And there were times I just like, those jeans would stick, and I couldn't like take them off. And once you take them off, you can't put them back on. So I would just be like sitting on set, and they'd be like, go back to your trailer, you have some time. And I just couldn't make it back, because the steps of the trailer are so high, or even tie my shoelaces. I couldn't do any of that. And, like I still remember, like, initially I came in, I think I was finishing my 6th month when we started, or we did fittings. And then I went up like 2 sizes, because every time I would come back, I'm like, button is not shutting. I think my baby's gone through a growth spurt. So yeah, I mean, no crazy cravings or anything. Oh yeah, I had tons of morning sickness in my 2nd pregnancy. So literally, if my call time used to be like 7 a.m. on set, I'd be up like at 5 just throwing up. I'd be like, come on. And I would always tell Beza, I'm like, because I've woken up 2 hours before everybody else, give me that afternoon slot, like post lunch, to like get a shut eye or something. But it's an interesting experience. I don't think that everyone is fortunate enough to have it. I did, but I don't think that anyone, if they want to sit back and or if they want to get out of home and work in the midst of their pregnancies, I think that we all can do it. Like, there are marathon runners, and there are athletes, and there are women in parliament, and women in the corporate world, and female lawyers who work right up to the end. So why not actors? So that's just I had to open this avenue out for actresses as well. And I'm hoping that this conversation can kind of be larger than the part I played, because I wanted to play this role for a lot of women out there.
So you play a cop. Did you realize, or did this thought come to your mind, that how privileged you are, maybe because as a working actor during her pregnancy, compared to a real cop working during her pregnancy?
I'm not. It's it seems like it's a place of privilege. As actors, also, we work as hard, but as cops, I tip my hat off to them. I know that let's talk about.
The difference would be that when you're acting, the situation is kind of under control. The external situation.
Yes, absolutely. I think more than when you're pregnant, actually, no situation is under control. You could be out like having dinner somewhere, and you could be rushed to the hospital the next minute. So I mean, that way, there's no situation that's actually under control. I still remember I was shooting an ad, and I was shooting it at home, and my contractions kicked in, and like suddenly I was holding the product and, I had like sweat and they were like, sweat hair dab karo. But within seconds, like again, they were like, sweat hair dab karo. And then I realized that, I was in a pain because, my contractions had kicked in a big way. And then I was just like, no, I'm going to wait for Angad to fly back. And I quickly called him and he was in Delhi. And then I told him, come back. So I'm saying that, if you talk about a place of privilege, it's not so much a place of privilege as much as it, as far as cops are concerned. I think the physical kind of conditioning, or the fact that they need to physically be somewhere, or will they be sent out when they are so pregnant, like sent out to field? I'm not sure what the exact protocol is, and that's why I can't answer this question. But yes, I feel women who need to or want to go to work, and whether they're pregnant or not, you can't stop them. Like, how do I say this? I always say that to answer your question in the most, like, the feeling of being pregnant more than the feeling of being a cop or an actor or a corporate person, is that our pregnancies don't make us weak. They make us stronger. So whether you're a pregnant cop or whether you're a pregnant cop on camera, when you walk into a room, you're technically the strongest person in the room. You're not the weakest. You're giving life. Like, that's my superpower. And if there are cops out there who are going to work under different circumstances who are pregnant, firstly and most importantly, I tip my hat off to them. And secondly, it's amazing, to like not take that sick leave, because I know that all over you're definitely allowed to take a certain amount of a sick leave. I just don't know how much it is, but they decide not to. So
Made your debut with the Kayamat, and then you featured in Ek 40 Kilo Girl. You worked in a film like Dasvidaniya and also in a film like Kya Kool Hain Hum. Do you want to talk about how varied these choices are, or why you made these varied choices?
Shweta, honestly, I've always said this, that my choices are always subject to the kind of roles that are offered to me. It's not like any and everyone in the entire industry is sitting over there and waiting to sign me and saying, oh yeah, let's wait for Neha and let's do this. I've never had that privilege, but I've never also had the flip side of it. And I knock on wood, and I never want that to change, is that I've never had a time in my entire career, which has been 19 years long as an actor. I'm in my 19th year, and before that for 4 years I was modeling. So my entire life, or more than half my life, I've done this. I've never had a point in my life where I've not had work, and as a self-employed person, it speaks volumes of what I stand for. I just stand for work and opportunities that are given to me. Opportunities, if they're not given to me, I create them. I do all of this without hurting anyone, because I believe in the hustle, and my varied choices are because I was just fortunate enough to change path. So, and I don't know, it's about like timing as well. When I came in, there was mainstream commercial cinema it's always been there. Like, we were oscillating between a level of really good projects to good cinema. Like, there was that project set up, like that. And right now we're oscillating between good cinema to great content or outstanding content, between OTT and stuff. So times have also changed. So initially all that was great. So I did that. Then I did a whole spate of comedies like Kya Kool Hain Hum or Chup Chup Ke or De Dhanadhan and stuff. So, and I also did like a little like left to center kind of cinema like Mithya or Ek 40 Ki Last Local or Fas Kar Rahe Ho Obama. And now, I feel like the world is, or the industry is opened up to giving opportunities to women, and to, there was also an idea of an actress on camera 10 to 15 years ago, and that now we're not put in a box. So I feel like with time, I have changed, and I've also had the opportunity to change. And if I was struggling to look like or be like or aspire to do roles like when I joined the business in my 20s, and if the industry was still there where it was, I may have not had work right now.
You mentioned you've spent like 19 years in the industry. Um, you you did a TV show, you did commercials as well. काफी auditions वगैरह रहे होंगे. Do you remember any particular audition where you were very nervous or scared or something?
Actually, no, I have not done those many auditions, as many as you think I may have done. But I've I've not done like, I've not done like years and years of rounds as far as doing auditions or being there. I did Miss India, and then that used to be at that time a huge platform. Everybody used to be like, who's the new Miss India? And then let's see if she's going to join the movies. And right before me, I think 2 years before me, there was Lara and Priyanka and Dia, and they stepped into the business, and then everybody was kind of stepping into the business. So I think the one stage that, or the one audition that I was most nervous about was actually getting into Miss India, because I was, for me it was a do or die. I was just like, agar hoga to theek hai, this is great, it's going to happen, but this is the only chance I'm giving myself, and if it's not going to happen, it's not meant to be, and then I'm going to go on and do different things. So maybe just that one. And apart from that, there's some that I've failed at and some that I've succeeded. I still remember there was this one audition just recently I had to do on Zoom, where I had to play like 4 different parts because there was nobody else reading the lines out to me. And I was just, I was so disappointed, because I was like, why am I doing this? Like, these Zoom auditions are just the worst. I think halfway through, I just like, I just couldn't get myself to understand, because, there's so much mystery in playing a part, and then suddenly doing it in front of a ring light was just not fun.
So I came across your Wikipedia page. The personal section mentions that you were fat shamed after your pregnancy, your first pregnancy. I think it should actually mention the way you handled the trolls, because according to me, that was the best thing, the most remarkable thing, I guess, because in that phase in your life, you started a conversation on social media. You have, I think, you also have the Instagram page, Freedom to Feed.
Yes.
So you started discussion around subjects that no one was talking about really, because before, I guess before a few years or something, being a career woman and being a mother were two very, very different things. You started this conversation which was not just about this, but also about negating body shaming, normalizing breastfeeding, and the requirements that it has for the woman, for the people around her. What inspired you?
I mean, there are different things, right? I mean, as far as being body shamed is concerned, it was really sad because it was happening. And I still remember the name of the journalist, and, it was a woman who was doing it. Not to say that it's okay if a man does it. It's not okay if anyone does it. You don't understand what a woman goes through when she herself goes through these changes. And for me, like, more than being a certain size, being fit is more important. But you're not the one to decide. You're not the one to decide when I should go on a diet, when I should stop feeding my child, when I need to be a certain size. I mean, none of that. You're not allowed to have an opinion. And if you do, you're not allowed to, like, hurt anyone while having opinions. So some people needed to be put in their place. Secondly, I started Freedom to Feed in August of 2019, when, it was just a conversation that needed to be had, because I still remember I was on a flight and my daughter needed to be fed, and I felt odd, and I just felt that breastfeeding was just not something that's normalized yet in our country. Of course, when moms need to feed their children, they all do it, and I'm definitely one of them. Like, I'm not going to hold back if I have a crying baby and worry about who's looking and what's happening. But I just felt that, why did I have to, like, go inside a airplane toilet to do that? And then because it was my first baby, and I kind of, I just thought that, let me see if other moms feel the same way. I did put my heart on my sleeve. I put myself out on social media. I questioned people. I'm like, do you feel the same way? And I had so many stories, Shweta. We started off as a community that was just like an Insta page that I started. And today we have almost 25,000 moms who write to us at different times. And we discuss everything from, like, kids and equal parenting to dental hygiene to like online school to whatever is there. So it's a really large parenting community that's been started. It takes a lot of my time, but I try and give it time sporadically between, like right now, if I'm here promoting my movie and I'm talking to you and I'm doing other things, then obviously, I have some other people who help me run the page. And so, it has to go on like that. In spite of doing all the things that I do, for me, like, bedtime for my kids or that time that I have, with my children, is extremely important. I do pack my days, but whatever I can put aside to spend time with my children is for me the need of the hour right now is to be with them. So that's why sometimes I go in and I go out and people ask me, what are you doing? Like, what are we going to see you in next? I have a film that's starting on the 1st of March. It's a comedy film. I'm not revealing too much about it, and then I'm doing some advertising work promoting this film. And then they're like, what else are you doing? I want to tell them I'm raising 2 amazing humans, so it takes my entire day and it's going to take my entire life.
So, with 2 kids and work, do you have moments when you and Angad fight over babysitting duties? Because I do all the time.
We don't fight over babysitting duties, but, because we were never people who were extremely conscious of routine, because we're actors, right? We're wired that, okay, agar kisi ne 4 din shooting ke liye liye and suddenly they'll be like, oh, but this is going to take another 2 days, and we would never worry about it. But now, those things like kind of trouble us. We don't, our children have actually taught us how to follow a schedule and respect time like never before. And time management is the most important thing. So like no matter where he is and no matter where I am, if we can, like there are things that one can maneuver around. So when you're shooting for a film, you can't push those dates aside. But when you're shooting for advertising work, you can tell them, let's not do it on Sunday, let's do it on Monday. So as much as we can, from like, say Saturday morning to like Sunday evening, we try and spend time together between the 4 of us, because our kids are young right now, so we can manage their schedule. Once they get a little older, it'll be very tough. So yeah, we don't fight over babysitting duties, but we try and work our schedules around it. And to say that to have 2 children and to be in jobs that don't have a routine, it's very tough to actually manage. It's not like he's 9 to 5 and I'm 10 to 6 or there's no set schedule. Like I could get a call and I'd be like, okay, I'm gone like all of June. What am I going to do? So it's tough.
True, it must be very tough.